Aegis Gladius Declassified. Built by Aegis Dynamics, the Gladius is an older design which has been updated over the years to keep up with modern technology. In military circles, the Gladius is beloved for its performance and its simplicity. A fast, light fighter with a laser focus on dogfighting, the Gladius is an ideal interceptor or escort ship. Fewer moving parts than the Hornet means new pilots can adapt to the new ship more quickly, and ground crews can keep them flying more easily. Now the Gladius is available for civilians, with some Gladius squadrons converted into the wider deployment of the F-7A Hornet, and the introduction of the F-8 Lightning to elite units. The Navy has begun to auction older Gladi to planetary governments and qualified mercenaries. The spacecraft is available to civilians with the same specifications and upgrade potential. Classified weapons technologies have been removed from the space frames, but they can be outfitted with a variety of civilian-grade weapons. The decommissioning process has also made room for civilian standard upgrades such as jump drives. Flight Manual UEEN Series Gladius P5G Spacecraft. Warning: this manual contains unverified procedures. Refer to any validation, verification status pages prior to performing any operation or maintenance procedure. The Gladius Craft. This manual provides operators with the general knowledge of the spacecraft, its characteristics, and specific normal, abnormal, and emergency operating procedures. Your flying experience is recognized. Therefore, basic flight principles are avoided unless providing spacecraft-specific tactical abilities. Instructions in manual are for a crew inexperienced in orientation of the spacecraft. This manual provides the best possible operating instructions under the most circumstances, but it is poor substitute for sound judgment. Multiple emergencies, adverse cosmic, atmospheric, etc. may require modification of the procedures. Entering, exiting the craft. The cockpit enclosure is a quarter teardrop shape built out of reinforced diamond laminate plating. It is rated to provide limited protection against cosmic and atmospheric elements. This canopy is designed to give you an unobstructed field of view to the sides, front, and above. Operators enter the craft through the left side using a self-deploying ladder and handholds. You should be careful when entering, exiting the spacecraft. Do not accidentally activate craft functions. Warning: to prevent personal injury and/or ship damage, the craft should only be entered, exited using clearly indicated areas, handles, steps. Other areas may not be load-bearing, and intensive pressure may damage internal components. Basic flight operations. The instruments of the Gladius cockpit are shown above. Instrument training in the single-seat fighter is paramount for any successful operator. Your instruments are your eyes and ears into the inner workings of your spacecraft, so an innate understanding of each and every gauge and readout will only increase your readiness and understanding of any situation, whether in combat or out. The pilot seat is designed to protect the operator in general standard shoulder harness system, will help combat the biological strain during high-G maneuvering, and comes with a pre-installed TR8 ejection system, should the spacecraft's operational functionality or hull integrity be mortally compromised. Spacecraft escape systems. These systems utilize ejection seats. Use of these systems will greatly increase the pilot's chance of a safe escape from the spacecraft in a time of emergency. Every pilot should be familiar with the system and have confidence in it. Although operation is simple, if you do not know the system well enough to operate it quickly and correctly, or if distrust of the automatic features causes you to manually override them, you may lessen your chances in an already dangerous situation. Engaging the weapons. One of the primary functions of this spacecraft is its offensive capabilities. Although its ability to carry missiles increases its effectiveness against larger craft, the Gladius is a flying gun platform. To maximize the craft's effectiveness in battle, you will need to not only master its abilities in flight, but in the efficient use of its guns. Scorpion GT-215. Located on the nose of the spacecraft, the Scorpion GT-215 is a hydraulic-driven ballistic Gatling weapon system, providing other high rate of fire weapon to the Gladius arsenal. K&W CF-007 Bulldog. A pair of CF-007 Bulldogs affixed to the wings are part of the Gladius standard issue armaments. This energy-based repeater allows operators to saturate a target area with an increased rate of fire, even though the damage of the individual shot is lower. Weapon familiarity. Every weapon has its own unique strengths, weaknesses, and durability. Being thoroughly familiar with your weapons and what to expect of them in combat can save your life. Missile delivery. One of the features that makes the Gladius a surprisingly versatile combat solution is its secondary ordnance. The missile racks under each wing are capable of carrying a pair of size 2 missiles and a single size 3 missile. Those combined with the Gladius speed and maneuverability make an unlikely but effective option for light bombing runs. AS-IM-5C Ignite 2 Dumbfire. While the lack of tracking capabilities might deter most, the trained pilot understands not only does the lack of sight mean that it cannot be tricked, but that the extra space can be used for increased explosive payload. AS-IM-09C Spark 3 Heat Seeking. For situations with more elusive target, the Spark 3 offers a guided alternative with a heat-seeking tracking system. Pilots should be aware that standard countermeasures can disrupt the missile's lock. Scope. This manual provides the pilot with a general knowledge of the spacecraft, its characteristics, a specific normal, abnormal, and emergency operating procedures. Your flying experience is recognized, therefore basic flight principles are avoided. Instructions in this manual are for a pilot inexperienced in the operation of this craft. This manual provides the best possible operating instructions under most circumstances, but it is a poor substitute for sound judgment. Multiple emergencies may require modification to the procedures. Defensive system. Contact with the enemy means that your craft will be taking fire. Though the experience can be harrowing for new pilots, understand that the Gladius light fighter offers considerable defensive systems to protect the operator and keep the craft flying. Titanium nanocomposite polymer armor protects the body of the craft, while gamma titanium aluminide plates have been strategically installed as reinforced protection for the pilot. In addition to structural protection, the Gladius utilizes single field shield generator from Ascension Astro to help fend off enemy fire. Taking evasive actions. The goal of any defensive strategy must be to regain the offensive as soon as possible. The Gladius offers a variety of tools to allow the operator to maintain the defensive posture and remain an elusive quarry until that transfer of initiative can be achieved and the pilot can regain battlefield superiority. Aside from the aforementioned defense system, the Gladius' chief weapons are its speed, maneuverability, and its countermeasure deployment system. Utilizing irregular and surprising turns of the Gladius M116, maneuvering thrusters will help minimize concurrent enemy attack damage, and strategic dispersal of flare and chaff countermeasures can distract incoming missiles long enough to break pursuit. Awareness. Know your surrounding. Pursuit of target can often create tunnel vision in the pilot. Stay aware of your environment and other hostiles while engaging with target roles. The Gladius was designed and built to engage the enemy. In the hands of a trained operator, opponents will quickly find that this light fighter is more than capable of delivering heavy damage. Throughout its decorated career, commanders have found the Gladius' versatility ideal for a variety of objectives, from interception to reconnaissance and even blockade running. Preparation. Battles aren't won through skill alone. Preparation can save your life. Make sure you communicate with your pit crew to stay appraised on your craft's current condition, and test your craft's responsiveness before committing to any mission. Coordinated flight. One Gladius is lethal. A group of them is devastating. When designing strategies with other members of your squadron, utilize the Gladius' speed and maneuverability to maximize the effectiveness of the attack. These formations should be tailored to suit any number of situations and variables. Success in any deployment comes from understanding and adapting. Understanding comes from knowledge of the strengths and limitations of your craft and your fellow pilots. Adaptation comes from utilizing that understanding when the situation defies the expectation. The Gladius craft. Permissible operations. The flight manual takes a positive approach and normally states only what you can do. Unusual operations or configurations are prohibited unless specifically covered herein. Clearance from the using command must be obtained before any questionable operation, which is not specifically permitted in this manual, is attempted. Before granting the clearance, the using command may request coordination or engineering assistance approval from High Command. Requests should be made through the Flight Manual Manager. Specifications. Base specifications. Role: Short Range Patrol Fighter. Manufacturer: Aegis Dynamics. Max crew: 1. Mass: kilograms, 16,000. Cargo capacity freight units: 0. Vehicle length: meters, 20. Vehicle beam: meters, 16. Vehicle height: meters, 5. Power plant: engines, thrusters, and shield. Factory power plant: Aegis K5B, Starwalk S1. Max power plant: size 2. Factory engines: Hammer propulsion HE 5.2. Max engines, primary thrusters 2 times, tier 2. Maneuvering thrusters: Hydra propulsion M116 tier 1. Factory shield: Ascension Astro Solo Shield S1. Max shield, size 3. Armaments: Class 1 hardpoints, wings, 2 size 1. Class 1 equipment: 2 claws and Warner CF007 Bulldog repeater, size 1. Class 2 hardpoint, nose, 1 size 1. Class 2 equipment, 1 times. Gallinson Tactical System Scorpion GT215 Gatling S1. Class 3 hardpoints, base of wings, 2, 4, size 2 configuration A, or 2, 4, size 3 configuration B, or 2 times 2, size 2, and 2 times 1 times size 3 configuration. C. Class 3 launchers C. 2 times size 2 Firestorm kinetics ASIM 5C Ignite 2 times 1 times size 3 Firestorm kinetics ASIM 09C Spark 3. This publication is used with Gladius P5G. Supplementary publications are provided to supply operational coverage for non-standard configurations. Commanders are responsible for bringing this publication to the attention of all personnel cleared for operation of subject spacecraft. Latest data. Operations and crew members are urged to confirm they are working with the current data. Manufacturer release updates spacecraft hardware on software. It is the operator's responsibility to stay current. Distribution statement. Distributions authorized for UEE Navy, UEE Marines, and UEE Army use only. Other requests should be forwarded to High Command. Liaison Office, MacArthur, Killen. Warning: this document contains technical data whose export is restricted under the Intelligence and Secrets Act. Violations of these export laws are subject to severe criminal penalties. Handling and distribution notice. Comply with distribution statement and destroy by any method that will prevent disclosure of contents or reconstruction of the document. Published under authority of UEE High Command, Aegis Dynamics.